What is going on, everybody? We're here. We are live. Jay's repping the coffee brand coffee. He's got Geeks and Gamers. He's got his, is that a 9-line shirt on?
Actually, it's not.
Oh, shit. I messed up
the trifecta.
I have a shirt from Target on like 3 years ago. So
yeah, this is an older shirt. It's a Blackbeard pirate shirt.
There you go. Wait, man, you should start a pirate channel or something.
Yeah,
that'd be an interesting. Might probably get demonetized, but who knows? But we are here and we're ready to rock and roll. It's Friday, and you guys probably know what Friday means now. It's pretty much me and Jay. That's what these Fridays are. Before the lead into Friday Night Tights, the way to end your week, Geeks and Gamers Daily. It's me and it's Jay, and we're going to be talking about a couple more big Disney disasters, and also some people that have just decided that the people that should be blamed for a series failing, obviously it's the fans, wouldn't have anything to do with the people behind the production, wouldn't have anything to do with them disrespecting the lore or making a mockery of things or inserting identity politics. It's all about the fans. It's all your fault, Jay.
I know. Sorry, I don't want to spend my money on this. I'll do better next time and just go into massive amounts of debts to support these projects I just don't care about. So, yeah, my fault. My bad, Disney.
You don't want to go to massive amounts of debts by watching
all Disney these films movies? So Disney Plus and movies. Man, going to the movies ain't cheap. I went to the Meg yesterday. I have a local theater that I never go to ever. I can't stand it because it's one of those rundown, you don't pick your seats. They've been there since like 1975. Yeah. And even though the ticket price is like maybe $2 less than the normal, it's still expensive. You know,
we've been spoiled, I think that we've been spoiled in terms of like the movie going experiences. Once they started going to the, hey, instead of filling this entire place out with these little super uncomfortable seats, we're going to make the seats bigger. You can lean back, relax. You might fucking fall asleep and have to come back and watch the movie again. But we're going to have these big seats and you get to pick where you sit before you even get there. That was like a game changer. And now whenever you have to go to like a normal theater, you're like, what the fuck is this?
It's really weird.
This is living. It feels like you're in the 1900s or something.
It's really weird. My biggest, I'm tall, so I appreciate the recliner, where I could stretch my legs out. This, I'm like a little, it reminds me of like being a coach flying on a flight. So my biggest fear is I was a little late to the film, and, they only had one worker there, and God bless her soul. She must have been 75 years old. And she was doing her best, opening up popcorn bags and getting everybody where they got to go. I walk in the theater when the previews start. You don't know where your assigned seats. So then you got to do you got to wait till your eyes adjust and just be like, oh, yeah, over there. Maybe I'll just walk down. Or you could just be that odd guy that walks all the way down to the front, then turns around and looks for a seat. So, the biggest thing is last time I went to that theater, I sat in a cut of gum where I swear whoever was chewing that put in 8 pieces of Hubba Bubba and just spit it out on the chair next to him just so he can enjoy his popcorn. And that was for, dear God, what movie was that? I want to say like The Rise of Skywalker. It's been a long time since I've been to that theater because, I like going to Universal. I sat in this gum, and then when you stand up, it's like, oh man, it was brutal.
You sat in gum.
Yeah. So it wasn't like hard gum. It was like I didn't realize it was there. And then you get up and you're like, what the freak? And you're like, oh man. Then you look around and be like, does anybody see me sit in gum? A nice fat wad.
Universal's just too far for me to drive just to go to the movies.
I hear you.
If I'm gonna be there for a 2.5-hour movie and 30 minutes of previews, and if I got to drive 45 minutes, just fuck that. I don't want to do that shit.
That's why I try to do park hopping stuff while I'm there, and then go to the movies when I'm done.
That makes sense.
But yeah, no, I hear you. So,
how hot has it been lately at the parks?
Nasty, disgusting. A little warm for me.
In Florida.
Yeah.
But Jay's Greasy Wigglers here for 199. Happy Friday. Hail 199 and FNT. Hi, Jay.
Hi.
Thundarius is a channel member for a month. Hail the 199. After returning home last night, my roommate got us Dave Chappelle tickets. Hope I'm up to it next month. Be great today. Hey, we'll try. Thank you. And yeah, it sounds like a fucking blast. Dave Chappelle tickets. Don't go up and tackle him. It doesn't end well for you, from what I've seen. Mikey likes it. Member for a month. All hail the 199. Thank you, Mikey. Abaru gives 5 Geeks and Gamers memberships. Big shout out to Abaru. Or
That better?
I don't really know how to say it. Say it a different way every time, probably. But either way, we got 5 new members because of that. So we appreciate it. Jay, so you went and saw The Meg. Give us your opinion on The Meg. I haven't seen this thing. So let everybody know. Is it worth going to see?
If you want the most ridiculous, dumb, stupid Sharknado-like film, and you just want to sit there and be like, I can't believe they put this in a movie, that's the movie to go see. That's the movie to go see. I in my review, I called the actor Jason Statham like an idiot after I uploaded it. And so there it is. So Jason Statham stars in The Meg. The whole time I'm like, there was no one there to correct me. So I didn't hate it. I gave it a 6 out of 10 because like the first hour is a little slow. And like my biggest critique was that the Meg is kind of a side character, but I thought it was, once it got going near the end, you're just kind of like, I can't believe the kind of stuff that they put in the film. Like they just threw it all out. I will say this: if you like Jaws, they do like they just throw in so many Jaws stuff in here. Like there's a dog in this film called Pippin. Like in Jaws, they talk about Jaws 2, and when Chief Brody put in those when he redid the bullets, he put in like the poison tips. So they talk about that. There's a scene where it's like where the shark was on the boat and Quinn was falling in Jaws. They kind of recreated that a little bit in there. There was
How
a
do
lot
they
of
recreate that? You'd have to have a big boat for that.
I mean, it was just like you could tell there was like a lot of Jaws like head nods in this film. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that so the first one was like whatever, but I don't feel like the first one was totally like Sharknado feel. It wasn't that. It was more of a okay, I guess I can kind of like understand this. It wasn't like the complete most outlandish thing in the world. It feels like from the trailers this is marketed as the most outlandish thing in the world.
There's like I like the movie's not woke at all. One of the grossest kill scenes, like a woman gets it's kind of funny. Like the kill scenes are kind of funny, but the Meg is a side character. I will say this: I found it interesting that they did have some Chinese actors, and so there's portions of the film where people are just speaking Chinese, and you got to read the subtitles. But for me personally, that didn't take away from anything because it kind of played into the story. Because like a Chinese billionaire bought this company and wants to explore. I'm not going to do spoilers. Don't worry. Wants to explore the trench. Like from the first one where the Megs got loose. So that's kind of like why it's called the trench. So they kind of explore. So it definitely trying to get that China audience. I think so. I thought it was like again. I said I gave it a 6. I liked it a whole of a heck a lot better than Ant-Man Quantumania. That seems to be my review. It's like it's better than Ant-Man Quantumania. That movie just I liked it better than Indiana Jones. Again, if you can get all the way to like the last like 35, 40 minutes, you're gonna be like, this is ridiculous. And I love it.
I got a weird thing going on my hair.
Any creature that you could think of that lived in the sea like shows up in this film, and you're just like, what? And then our heroes, who are nothing but lab rats, turn into like ninjas. It's like crazy. That's all I'm saying.
There you go. And as Lee says, for $10, yes, my favorite actor, Jason Statham. So go see Jason Statham in The Meg 2. But there is something else that's out at theaters that is not doing well. Shockingly, another Disney movie has completely underperformed and is now said to be another box office flop for them, and that's Haunted Mansion. Now, Disney, it's not their first time trying to do Haunted Mansion. It's not their second time trying to do Haunted Mansion either. But now it's another attempt to do a Haunted Mansion movie, and it looks like this one is again a complete failure. There have been some very successful movies based off rides at either Disney World or Disneyland. This is not going to be one of them. Disney's Haunted Mansion ends up a catastrophic flop with just 33 million box office debut. And now, as it goes throughout the week, it's now been out for about a week. You're seeing it's probably going to fall behind Sound of Freedom this weekend for fifth at the box office. Sound of Freedom has now made over $150 million. It continues to perform really well, and it's right there on the heels of Haunted Mansion at the box office. As Haunted Mansion, a big budget, $160 million budget movie with an extra who knows how much marketing, probably somewhere around $100 million. There is no way that this movie is going to make the kind of money it needs to actually be profitable. And you even have the media trying to cope and say, hey, these are the reasons why it flopped. They're admitting that it will be a financial failure. But something interesting came out of this. The director, who we've recently heard of, the same guy who was supposed to be the Lando rider, who came out and said, I'm just too black and too gay for Lucasfilm, while actively promoting his other Disney movie. He had some statements that have made people wonder, what exactly is this the standard at Disney, or is this hypocritical? What does this really mean? Haunted Mansion director wanted to make Disney's reboot as black as possible. Now, Jay, the reasoning behind it, I actually can kind of get behind, because his reason is, hey, this is set in New Orleans. It's a predominantly black city. Now, he lies and says 85% black when it's really about 60% black. But either way, that's his reasoning. The problem is, every other Disney live action movie that comes out that's based on a European story, they don't try to keep it as white as possible. In fact, they usually do the opposite. So it'd be one thing if this was the standard they had, but apparently it's only the standard when they have minorities as the lead characters.
I don't know where they find these people, but and it's that's like I agree with you. It's like if you wanted to make a film about like Haiti, and like what's going on in Haiti, I'm assuming you would want it to represent the culture and the people. So if
100%.
this was like you said, yeah, if this where it was filmed, but it's funny how they can do this one way and not do it another way. So
yeah, like on the
it's
surface,
crazy.
I have no problem with the sentiment. I just think it should be applied throughout whatever they're doing
Everything,
and whatever they're adapting. Right here's the reasoning. I wanted to make it as black as possible. I felt it was really important for the lead to be black. Eddie Murphy was as well in 2003, because this is set in New Orleans and it's an 85% black town. Again, go look at the census. It's about 60%, but still predominantly black city. I wanted to make the movie as black as I can because that's New Orleans. He continued, adding he wanted to tell this ensemble story that I feel like I know how to do. And luckily, Disney agreed. That's why it's here. That's why I'm here. He also said the incredible desire to bring the history of New Orleans and specifically black culture to the movie. This is the birthplace of jazz and all the best food in the country.
So he's the expert. So a
Mhm.
gay black man is the expert on bringing black cinema to the big screen, which has been around for quite some time. Um, that's stunning and brave there, Disney. Good on you. Good on you for finding the right man for the job. So we can all enjoy the fruit of his labor. Thank you. Thank you.
I just think that, maybe you keep that same energy when you're adapting 19th century German fairy tales. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's really what people are looking at and just laughing at this point. All you can do is laugh at Disney when these are the rules they have for this. But when it comes to Snow White and the Little Mermaid, it's clearly the exact opposite. Now, I haven't seen this movie. I've heard some mixed things from people. Some people say it's great. Some people say, it's just skip, don't bother. But one thing is clear. People don't trust Disney at all in any way, shape, or form across every section of their entertainment. And now, while you have Barbie and Oppenheimer that are just making so much money right now, it's another Disney flop, which they've had a lot of this year, and it continues to get worse.
They're gonna have to make a movie and not put the Disney name anywhere near it and see if it does better than their current, because the brand is definitely tarnished. It's just people see that name now and it's just like, yeah, I'm done. I don't want to see it. And then, of course, the fans will probably get blamed, because we're not watching the film. Oh, we don't want to see black stars. But that's really not true. Because did you hear what the movie on like one of the movies that's dominating on Netflix right now?
They cloned Tyrone.
They clone Tyrone. Like, here is not to throw a curveball, but it's like they clone Tyrone helps Netflix nab top 5 streaming ranking charts. And from what I hear from everyone, this is Jamie Foxx, which is kind of interesting because of everything that he's been going through.
It's like Jamie Foxx, John Boyega, Tatiana Paris,
The lady that's in the Marvels.
Photon.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And people are saying that this is like
Tiona
fantastic. It's not what you think it is when you watch the film. So it's getting like that word of mouth that's like, hey, somebody put together a great story. And people in the chat are saying, I enjoyed this film. This movie's hilarious. People should watch it. Imagine that. I didn't see anybody come out and say, I wanted to make this movie the blackest movie sci-fi possible. Look at that diverse cast. No, they actually put together a nice film for people to laugh and enjoy. Imagine that. Imagine my shock, when you write something different and unique and people enjoy it. So,
Yeah, I think that it's so funny when we hear about the casting for Ariel and Little Mermaid and Snow White. It's like, well, we wanted the best person for the job. No, you wanted to make it diverse. Like you came out and really admitted you wanted diverse castings. But when it comes to the Haunted Mansion, nothing about the best person for the job. I just wanted to make it as black as possible.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
fine. It's just the hypocrisy that people are looking at when it comes to Disney.
And I see Jason's statement in the chat. Thank you.
Nice.
Oh my God.
And the irony is the 2003 Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion movie was a financial failure for them. This one opened to the same exact number in the box office that one did.
Oh, wow.
Like 24 million box office opening weekend. That's what Haunted Mansion 2003 also did. And they spent way more on this one. So
yeah, these inflated budgets that they're coming out here is crazy, man. It's just the next one too. Like, do you know what the budget is for the Marvels?
It's gonna be somewhere between 200 and 250. I don't know exactly.
Wow, really?
Yeah. They had several rounds of reshoots and stuff too, so I'm sure it's skyrocketed.
Okay.
It ain't gonna be cheap, that's for sure.
No.
Gerardson for 50 Mexican pesos. Listen, I'm not a furry, but hey. Jay, are you a furry?
No.
But Chris Coran for 2. Chris Coran for 2. Was Jay able to get Tarantula on FNT?
No. That didn't work out. Sorry about that.
Let's see. Shockmaster for $1. Thank you. The Baltic Savage for Swedish 50. 199. Let's keep it going for future internet historians to wonder the unsolved mystery of the 199. It is kind of an unsolved mystery. Jamie should just direct people to his Twitter account. Jay's Greasy Wiggler for 199. JC Stateman's Salty Taint.
Yeah. Gosh.
Baltic Savage for Swedish 50. Paper Stapler isn't an actor to be taken seriously. You know, it all will be is dumb fun.
He plays the same character in every film, He plays the same character. But there's nothing wrong with that. You find your groove, man. You just ride that wave.
This is Boosh. I appreciate the fact that you think it's not that much. It's not that much. It's not 500 million. But in all likelihood, I think it'll end up being around $250 million, not including marketing. So
including marketing. So what do you tag on another 100 million on that?
Minimum. Most of these Marvel movies, the big Disney releases have been somewhere between 125 and 150 million for marketing. God. Some more. I think one of them was 160 million. I forget which one that was though. But yeah, it's a lot. I think Little Mermaid was 250 production budget and like 140 million marketing. That's what they just closed. So you're setting yourself up for failure. Like, why is Haunted Mansion Like, why is that movie, which is some like horror kind of quasi family friendly film, why is that costing $160 million?
Exactly. Like there's something that doesn't make sense.
Like, I feel like
How
you
much
could.
was the Barbie budget? Do you know off the top of your head?
I believe Barbie was 140 million, which
Yeah.
still seems a lot. They probably had a lot of like set design stuff in there, I imagine. Maybe that's where like the real life set stuff, but I don't know, because you look at it, it looks simple, it looks simplistic, but obviously they did a lot of work probably building that stuff out. I had no idea. I don't know how much they did green screen or how much it was practical. No fucking clue. But yeah, 140, I think, and then somewhere between 125 and 150 million for marketing. They obviously marketed the hell out of it.
They used
But
to like there's always every couple of years there's always a blame. At first it was like, pandemic. Now it's like, well, we're still under COVID, so we procedures, so we had to spend a lot of money on that. And it's like now, like, what's gonna be next? They're gonna blame the strike. They're just gonna
well,
find something to blame, you
I think
know?
that blaming these budgets is a realistic thing. When you
Yeah,
look at these budgets that are just they're wild. So when you look at the current state of the box office and everything like that, if you're making a movie and you have to hit 800 or 900 million dollars just to break even, that's not sustainable. These
exactly.
two, same thing for Mission Impossible. Now, clear that had a $200 million budget, and then they went over in large part because of COVID and COVID restrictions and trying to shoot during that. So some of those things you understand for things that were made during COVID, but still, if your baseline when you start, you have to make 800, $900 million to break even. In all likelihood, you're going to fail. Movies don't just hit $1 billion at the box office. Like that can't be your base level expectation. And especially when you're a company like Disney that now across everything they're releasing that has the Disney name attached seems to have
Yeah.
a bad feeling to it that people do not trust and people would rather go see other stuff. They
Yes.
talked about all their animated movies. Well, people just don't want to go out to the theaters. Really? Minions Rise of Gru hit $900 million.
Yes.
Mario hit $1.3 billion. So that's not the case. It's something very specific to Disney. And those people are doing that with much less cost. $100 million budget for Mario and Rise of Gru compared to $200 million for these Disney animated dumpster fires. Like, obviously, there is something going on with the Disney brand. Disney Plus, the box office, the theme parks, they're having problems everywhere because people don't trust them. When you're known as a family friendly brand and you decide to do things that are inherently the opposite of that, the families are the first ones to walk away from you. And all of a sudden, people aren't just going to take a chance on a Disney movie or a show. They need to prove to the audience that they're worth that again. And they haven't done it yet.
Yeah, and it's pretty crazy how like some of the media is still trying to spin it a little bit. Like I think I mentioned this on Tuesday with that movie Elementals. Is that what it's called? Where it's
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, it's got legs, everyone. It's starting to crawl a little bit, so maybe it wasn't as bad as you thought. And you're just like, what? Where's it crawling to? What kind of legs does it have? It doesn't have very good ones. So it's as far as in making money. But I mean,
It's not going to be profitable.
yeah,
The legs, it was impressive legs for the start that it had. But one of the things that shows you is that people don't want to take a chance even on a Pixar film.
right.
So they started hearing some good things about it and they started going. You can even look at Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and point to that too. That is not a movie that should have opened to 118 million or whatever it was. Like, that should have been a massive, massive opening for the last entry in this and the MCU for the Guardians of the Galaxy. Should have been huge, but it wasn't because people just didn't trust Marvel. Now
Right.
people started hearing from other people that was good, had a really solid hold and a good run. But because the movie cost $250 million to produce and nearly $150 million to market, and because of its big China numbers that it got, it barely broke even at the box office. And that's the massive success that Disney has this year. A movie that just barely made its money back.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And they keep announcing stuff for like Disney Plus and everything. You're just wondering like how is that even possible? Like the Lando series. I guess we kind of figured out that why that was announced just to kind of shut up the director, you know. But they even announced for Star Wars, they announced that the guy that runs the Dax, that runs the grill in like episode 2 is gonna get a spin-off, like I think a cartoon series. So
That's
that's
interesting.
that's gonna bring in the numbers.
So
Even though
somebody sent a super chat about a sloth serial killer movie. Jay, have you seen this trailer?
I haven't seen the trailer, but I have seen that.
I haven't heard. I
People
haven't seen the
talking
trailer
about it.
either. I've only heard people talking about the Slaughter House. Should we watch this trailer?
Sure.
I feel like you identify with sloths for
Yeah,
some
I do,
reason.
especially at this time of day.
All right, Slaughter House. What the fuck?
That's a sloth. If you're interested, I could sell you that one.
They're really a slow?
Maybe they just tricked us all.
In the
It
jungle,
looks terrible.
she's a
Yeah.
but out here, she's an alpha.
Alpha.
It is a wild animal. You don't even know what it eats.
Alpha?
It's a slaughterhouse.
Oh.
It's going to theaters.
August 30th. Bro,
Good for them.
So the sloth looks really bad.
Yeah, it looks like something that they bought at like Target.
Well, to be honest, it kind of looks like it moves the way Baby Yoda moves in The Mandalorian, like the puppetry and shit. But what the fuck is this movie? Why did we not hear of it until just the other day?
Yeah, I didn't even know
a
that it was going to be in the big screen. That's pretty wild.
A sloth serial killer. There you go. This is probably going to make a fuck ton of money because it probably cost nothing to make.
Yeah, it's like they probably funded it through Indiegogo. Good for them. What's the percentage that there's going to be boobies in this film?
I don't know. No idea. Not sure.
I'm going to give it a 75%. There's going to be boobies in this film. And these
Killer
low budget,
sloth
like
movie.
these low budget things, man.
I'm looking up Slaughterhouse budget now. Slaughterhouse. That's hard to say. Yes, the trailer for Slaughterhouse is worth everyone's time. I can't find the budget. I can't find the budget. Maybe that'll come out later, but who knows?
What would be your best guess?
Like $8 million.
Yeah, I was gonna say 6 to 10 or 6 to 9. Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
That's pretty funny.
See about that. Someone mentioned in a super chat. I had to check that out. Where the fuck am I? Spider Claw for 5. Did you already talk about the desecration of the turtles yet? Man, that animation is crap. Haven't seen it. I'm not a big fan of that style of animation.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Spider-Verse stuff. I don't like it. But I haven't seen it. I know April's fat, black, and probably lesbian. Other than that, I saw the story about Splinter being gay. Apparently, that's not the case because there was they misgendered scumbag on the poster. Whatever. I don't know. I haven't watched it.
It's a cockroach, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He's a roach, and they misgendered a roach. It was a little suspicious that Paramount put out a tweet and then they delete it because it was causing an uproar, I guess, because that supposedly is the boyfriend of Splinter, but then they came out and said, no, that's not the case. Don't worry about it. So I don't know. That's all bizarre. Somebody has to go see it and tell us, like somebody I trust has to watch this film. So I know. I need to know. Is Splinter gay? Splinter is a mouse, is a rat. And they have him in a relationship with a cockroach. What the
He does kind of wear pink or something, right?
Seth Rogen
is
for
it
you.
pink or purple? I don't know.
Yeah, when I first saw that, like I was like, what is that?
Doesn't he have an afro in this?
I don't even know.
Is that the same trailer that I'm thinking of? I don't know. Magnum Norse for 10. Me Reiki egg roll. Ryan like reading dumb-ish because he Reiki bung horo. I purchased toy for Ryan. Face good times. Not know how to see troll. Ryan Reich re Rarson feet. Thank you, Magnum Norse. Steiner math for 6 months. When Jay meets Jason Statham, I hope he asks him if he really hates sharks and to see if he gets a look the way he got from Hayden.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
What if you had one opportunity to talk to Harrison Ford and you were like, do you really hate snakes? That's basically what you did with Hayden Christensen.
I would have been like, can you say, hey, I got my brother on the phone. Can you say, get off my plane? Yeah, I know.
It's funny because like Harrison Ford is going to be the president in the MCU now.
Yeah.
So it's his second stint, I think, playing a president all the way back from Air Force One, which is a great movie.
It was a great movie. I don't know what I would say to Harrison Ford. Probably something retarded.
It's
it's
like there's like countless videos and stuff of them explaining what things are like with George Lucas or like on set, all this stuff. But here you go.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Dexter. He's getting his own short story. Aren't you glad?
You know what?
I don't mind. I liked him.
I don't know if he needs a short, like it's fine to have a short story or whatever. I don't want it to have anything to do with Disney Star Wars, but it will. It's probably going to talk about like how fucking gay he is and how he uses all his hands to jerk off a bunch of dudes. like this is Disney Star Wars. So that's probably what it's going to be. Let's just be real with ourselves. But
hey, what do you know?
Oh, what do you know? 4 facials today, Obi-Wan.
Like they gotta talk about how they became friends, special friends, you know?
Hello there.
Yeah.
But in general, one thing I hate about Disney Star Wars now is the fact that they're going back to these time periods and trying to flesh these characters out, inherently changing the stories.
Yeah.
The same thing they're doing right now with Return of the Jedi, because we've seen it for we saw it for Empire Strikes Back a couple years ago, stuff like that, the certain point of view. So they take these movies and they say from a certain point of view, and they talk about this small character that happened, the little 5-minute short stories. And it's supposed to be intriguing and fleshing out all these characters. But instead, what a lot of these people do is they use it to push their identity politics. That's the same one where we found out that Luke's gay, that Luke's attracted to a dude in the Empire Strikes Back from a certain point of view storybook. So it's Disney trying to insert their bullshit in these stories and create things that never happened. And I fucking hate it. I know they're going to do the same thing with the Return of the Jedi stuff. I don't know if there's been any big stuff to come out of there yet. I know it certainly will, though. There's no doubt. There'll probably be a scene like in Jabba's palace where Lando got caught fucking a robot or something. Who knows?
It's a comedy fest to me at this point. It's like it's Robot Chicken. That's all Disney Star Wars is. And Robot Chicken was better.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, Star Wars, man. Whew. It's gonna be a good one.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Cloner. Yeah, see me laughing.
How big your pocketbook is.
Yeah, that's it, man. And this guy knows everything from across the galaxy and is trusted by Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he runs a little diner on Coruscant.
I've watched Attack of the Clones so many times. It is always like so awkward. That scene is so very awkward because the droid has Obi-Wan sit down and he literally just sits down at the edge of his seat for 2 seconds, like he's ready to get back up, and then immediately gets back up to greet him. There's so many like weird little awkward things that happen in that movie.
Yeah.
I'm GAY, member for 2 months. Gifts of membership. Hey, thank you. I'm gay. Magnum Norse for 10. Harrison Ford crashes a plane and yells about not caring about anything or anyone. And that's all he said. I don't know if you meant to hit something else, but thank you, Magnum Norse. As is wonky eyebrow for 2. Can Jay get Beardo on FNT? Hail 199.
I'll get right on that.
Yeah. Alex Papa for 5. RON, whatever that is. Whatever money that is. Thank you. Baltic Savage for 50. It's crazy to remember a time when Disney was a universal symbol of good quality. Now every time I hear the word Disney, it triggers a gag reflex. Baltic Savage for another Swedish 50. Weed dealers will make a shit ton of money outside the theaters before the slaughterhouse. It does look funny.
Yeah, it does look funny.
D Breezy for 5. Jay, my son 9 loves dinosaurs and Godzilla. He's interested in this. How much PG-13 content is there? Is it safe in the Meg 2?
I don't know if I'm the right person to ask. So the gore isn't like, it's not gory. Yeah, there is some like it's just really stupid. It's like Sharknado. Like if you can handle Sharknado that came on like what was that, TNT, then it should be fine. There's no nudity in it. There's no like harsh cussing or anything like that. So, you know.
Why does Ryan's hair look like a baseball glove line on his head? Is that what it looks like?
What? No.
Does it look like there's a baseball glove line on my head?
Not from my point of view. Maybe
you ever seen a baseball glove, son?
Maybe mine.
That's why Jay wears hats, because his hair's always a mess in the morning.
My hair's like, yeah. Once I get out of the shower, like sometimes I like start doing other things and I forget to like go through the motion.
Yeah. I mean, I think my hair looks all right for waking up and doing the show. Ron Lewis for 2. Proof Hollywood has ran out of ideas. Oh, there's been a lot of proof of that. That's for sure. Groovy Lava Squirrel Medic for 2. Give me Bubba Hotep Part 2. Bruce Campbell save us. D Breezy for 199. I was referring to the Meg 2. I think we got that one. Breezy.
Oh, yeah.
Slick Gossip for 5. Jay's looking forward to seeing those lovely jubblies in Slaughterhouse.
I'm just saying, like classic slasher dumb horror films, they always have like a woman for some reason would end up with her top off and she's running away and falls. Like she'll see like a little leaf on the ground and like and the killer, the sloth is a slow walker, you know, but isn't that how it always is in these type of films? It's like, how can you not outrun a sloth? Like how is that like humanly possible not to outrun a sloth? Think it barely move. Can't you just kick it in the face? No, but that's why they make these types of films, because it's funny like that.
Well, and it looked like in one of those, it was basically, hey, you're in a hospital bed. And one of they were sitting in the shower, just like waiting, like a fucking freak. But yeah, we should talk about we need to talk about Secret Invasion, though. I had to pull up the Rotten Tomatoes score on it though first, because it's just pretty interesting. Did you watch any of Secret Invasion? How checked out are you on Marvel, Jay?
The only thing I saw about Secret Invasion was Samuel L. Jackson kissing a Skrull, which apparently
I like how you say his name.
Samuel L. Jackson. What?
Sounded like you said Samuel or so, like Samuel
Jackson.
Like just his name is Samuel Jackson. Like that. That's how you said it.
I got crooked teeth.
Samuel L. Jackson
in the back.
Crooked molars. That'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, what started off as looking to be just a boring, inconsequential Marvel Disney Plus series very quickly changed with the season finale, where they showed not only does Gaia have every superpower known to man, she's now the biggest, the strongest, most powerful superhero in the MCU, but also the reveal of Don Cheadle being a Skrull since Civil War, which retroactively changes so many things. People have been very pissed off about this, and it's not just the fans, it's also been the critics. Critics hated the final episode of Secret Invasion, a 7% for episode 6. And it has everybody saying why Secret Invasion is the worst finale for any Disney Plus show yet. And very interestingly, the director, who's gone out there and has talked a lot, this is the same guy who revealed, didn't need to, but he confirmed that Rhodey had been a Skrull since Civil War, which you can tell because he's got the same hospital gown on, all of this stuff. He had something interesting to say in the lead up when people first started pushing back on this. The Secret Invasion director doesn't care if you like the show or not. He basically says, bad reviews don't bother me. That's not my job. I don't care if we don't live up to audience expectations. Marvel just has a rabid fan base, and it's not our job to fulfill your expectations. This is all the messaging he was putting out there. I don't care if no one liked the show. He even said if everything got positively reviewed, then every movie would be $1 billion movie, which is one of the dumbest things I've also heard. But he's changed his tune a little bit from saying, I don't care about the fans, I don't give a fuck about how they feel, to suddenly saying that fans are just so toxic. Now he's worried that he's going to get death threats. Not that he has got them, not that fans have done this, but that he's worried that he's going to get death threats. The very same guy that said, I don't care about what the fans think, is now apparently worried about what the fans think. Death threats over Secret Invasion's big twists. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Secret Invasion director Ali Salim admitted he thinks he might get some intense pushback from fans after the big twist that War Machine has been a Skrull since Captain America Civil War. Quote, I'm worried that I'll get death threats because of that, and also because I'm the guy who took out Maria Hill. So I'm actually going into hiding now. I don't know if people care too much about Maria Hill.
What?
And I don't know if you're going to get, like, no one's getting serious threats about these things. There are some whack jobs out there that'll put some stuff. You've got them, Jay. I've got them. Like, if you're on social media, you're putting out content, you'll probably get some fucking nut jobs saying shit. But it's funny how he's trying to push back and, like, claim this rabid, toxic fan base that's going to send him death threats, when before, just a week before that, you were saying, I don't care what people think. I don't care. It's not my job to live up to fans' expectations. I don't really care if they think it was good or not.
So the thing that he's worried most about is that he made War Machine a Skrull this entire time from like that's how does that ruin Tony Stark or anything like that?
Well, it's not that it ruins Tony Stark necessarily, but I think like this moment here certainly holds different meaning. Like Rhodey saying goodbye to Tony, Rhodey at the funeral, everything that happened in the entire Infinity War and Endgame saga, the discussions he had with Nebula, everything that's taken place since then. It does very much change Rhodey as a character. But I think they're going to retcon it. This is my claim. I think that they realize what a big fuck up this is and how people hate it. And they're actually going to retcon their own retcon and come out and make a statement. It's like, well, we never showed you in it. It was just a statement from a director. That was just his best guess. Really, it's only been since Falcon and Winter Soldier or something. That's what they're going to try to claim.
This whole scroll thing that they're using now is like the biggest like cop out in creative writing ever. It's like, how do we put a twist? We'll just make him a scroll. That's so aggravating as a Marvel fan for them to do that. I just don't understand why this lazy writing where it's like, this is how we can make a big twist instead of putting together a really cool story, which they have plenty of material to go to. If they wanted to, I mean, it's like that's how they can like change anything they want now. Now that you've done this once, you could do this for whatever. You know, you could do this for whatever. It's like, well, Iron Man died in Endgame. Well, newsflash, Iron Man was in a cage somewhere because it was actually a scroll that just had like, I don't know, that looked like him. It's that is just so freaking lazy. These people have run out of ideas. It just doesn't, it's so stupid to me. Because I like I said, you could just use it over and over again whenever you want to change something. You know, you could have a dramatic scene and kill off a character and literally come out a week later on a TV show and go, well, it was just a scroll, everyone. Your favorite character isn't dead. You know?
What I think Marvel
so
is running into now is the same problem that a lot of us have had with Star Wars for a while. It's like when you're going back and you're retroactively changing characters or events or things that happen in the stuff that we enjoy, right? When you go and you say the movie Solo, when you take the character of Lando and one, make him a droid fucker, and two, make this annoying ass droid all of the sudden be part of the Millennium Falcon forever. That retroactively changes every single time we've seen the Millennium Falcon on screen, right? So what you're doing, that's the problem that Marvel's running into now. The stuff that they're doing is destroying even the things that people did like in phase 1 through 3 of the MCU and really appreciated. Now they're changing things that are going to have an impact on those things, and it's just going to continue to get worse in an effort to try to get people to care about the shit they're putting out the same way that Star Wars is doing that stuff.
It's stupid.
It is
stupid and lazy.
This is what you get, 7%.
And it's almost like these people, like we'll go back to Ryan Johnson. It's almost like they want to be remembered forever. So Ryan Johnson, whether, most people did not like what he did with Luke Skywalker, but he will always be remembered because his name will always be connected to the guy that killed Luke Skywalker and destroyed his character. So it's almost like their egos are just so big. They're like, oh, I can create a character that will always be connected to this iconic ship, the Millennium Falcon. It will always be connected. I'm the one that put this together. So anytime they bring up Lando, they're going to bring me up. Anytime they bring up Millennium Falcon, Phoebe Waller-Bridge's name probably will get brought up as L3 3-hole, whatever that thing is called. But, it's like this is what I think these people are just so full of themselves that they want to create this thing and be like remembered, just like people of like Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, these people of the past who, that have done amazing work. Listen, George Lucas has done some bombs in his day. So has Steven Spielberg, but it's like their names will always be cemented in greatness. And these people want that. And the only way they could do that is somehow shock the audience and keep their name in the conversation for all times. So that's what I think.
I was looking at Steven Spielberg not that long ago at like his run, because the argument was I'm sure it was on FNT or some bullshit about who's a better director, Spielberg or Nolan or something. And it's like, when you look at the run that Steven Spielberg had in like the 70s, 80s, and 90s, it's fucking wild. Like, it's absolutely insane. Anyway, Nut Bunny for 14. They had posters for Scumbag. They did, and they said that was a mistake, that it shouldn't have been as himself. It should have been as herself. SBZ for 2. The Slother versus Cocaine Bear will make billions. Maybe.
It's Cocaine Shark next, right? Didn't they do a Cocaine Shark?
I think so. That Cocaine Bear movie was dog shit. It just wasn't funny. But it was Elizabeth Banks, so. Boosh McFadden for 2. Jay, what does Dexter Jester's underwear smell like?
Not what I know.
Probably grease.
Yeah, greasy skid marks.
Spider-Man for 5. Splinter called Scumbag she twice in the movie. My 5 and 7-year-old grandsons really enjoyed the movie, so that's what matters most. First super chat. Hey, thank you, Spider-Man. So that should tell you that the poster was apparently a mistake from them to put that out, and that Splinter is not gay in the movie, according to what we're hearing from people that have actually seen it. So thank you for letting us know, Spider-Man. Logan Hoyne for 5. I don't care that Ariel's black, doesn't affect the story, but the press making it seem like that's why people should watch it is what turns me away. I have a problem with like randomly changing characters for no reason, for identity politics purposes. That's what I have a problem with. Magnum Norse for 5. Poor director. Yeah, poor director. Italian Stallion for 5. Ryan, if you were the head of Lucasfilm, what era would you make the next Star Wars film in? Who would you want to write, direct, and act? I don't know about write, direct, and act. In terms of what I would do with the story, I would... One, I'd fucking wipe out literally everything that's been done since Disney took over. I don't care if you like The Mandalorian first, second seasons. I don't care if you cried the return of Luke Skywalker. That show needs to be wiped off the face of existence. It's done a ton of damage to actual Star Wars as well. So fuck every single thing that Disney's made. And then what would I do next? Right now, if I was to do it now, since you can't do a movie with Leia, obviously, I'd go 1,000 years back, and I'd do Darth Bane. I would do the establishment of the Rule of Two, and I would make it a trilogy of Darth Bane based off the Darth Bane books that we had. That's what I would do. You could see some fucking awesome Jedi Sith shit going on in that first movie, the Battle of Rusan, all of that stuff. And then you could see the formation of the Rule of Two and eventually his apprentice, doing what she needs to do too. Cliff for $5. In my opinion, the Secret Invasion director's statements are indicative that he knows the show he created is complete garbage and he's deserving of criticism. Yeah, he's been really, it's been a struggle session for that guy. Everyone's saying chat died. The chat froze again. I see the chat. I don't know. Maybe there's weird stuff going on. I see everyone saying chat broke, but I see the chat. Jeremy's non-existent eyebrows for 2. How many jubblies has Jay drawn during the show?
None. Sorry to disappoint. Just trying to get my lighting is all messed up, I think. Maybe that's better.
Taker for $2. New Chappelle skit, Skrull Human Supremacist. Travis's World for 5. I have seen some shill saying there are no identity politics in the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I haven't seen the movie. I don't know. Magnum Norse for 10. No, it looks like you skeeted in your hand and ran it. My hair? Maybe I did. Magnum Norse for 10. Only a sloth can outrun Jay.
Huh.
What's your top speed, Jay?
I have no idea. Pretty slow. You've seen me. I could take big strides, but they don't move that fast. So,
Groovy Lava Squirrel Medic for 10. Sloths are not always slow. They poop once a week, and it averages 1/3 of its body weight. They're a lot quicker after that. They have to be, as they have to be on the ground to go poopy.
Okay.
All right. I mean, yeah, I imagine
that.
sloths don't always move super slow, but when they shit 1/3 of their body weight. Bro, imagine just taking a dump that big once a week. Would it be worth it?
I think so. I know some people that have to have that problem.
Would it be worth it?
They don't go on the daily. I was like, you need to go see a doctor, man.
Bro, would it be worth it to take like a 60-pound shit, but you only had to do it once a week?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. You have to carry that around with you.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Gary's Wizard Beard, member for 6 months. Amelia Clark has to swap bodies like the others in the Marvels now that she has the Captain Marvel powers, and that's the plot. See y'all in FNT. Hey, thank you, Gary's Wizard Beard. Jack Hudson, member for a year. Hey, guys. Jay, I like the high tea streams with Beard. I'd love to hear more topics like yesterday's show.
Oh, yeah, that was funny. We played TikToks from like men that got stood up on dates and just kind of analyzed it. So
relationship experts over there.
Yeah, well, like we literally clearly said that we're not, but it was kind of funny.
CR for 5. How much more money do you think Disney will have to lose in order to start canceling or selling their big franchises?
I don't think they'll sell their big franchises. I think they'll sell small parts of it. Kind of like Sony with Spider-Man. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think they could potentially sell out little pieces of like little pieces of Star Wars that people that we haven't heard of that they might do something with it, or other Marvel characters if it got that desperate.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think that they might try to sell, like they've already admitted that they're looking to sell their actual like TV channels and things like that.
Like ABC, ESPN,
Freeform, FX, like all their channels. They're looking to do that. They're actively looking to do that. I don't think they're going to sell franchises because I think they realize that that's like
that's what I meant. Licensing out. Sorry about that. Yeah, you're right. Correct, chat.
In terms of licensing, so here's what I could think. Just the ability to sell and control the original trilogy and the prequels has some inherent value in it, right? And that's not something they're going to give up. And Whether you're talking about merchandise, whether you're talking about all this stuff, there's a lot of inherent value to the properties they own, and they haven't devalued them enough to sell them off in that way. So I don't think that's something that's coming anytime soon. I think it's likely if Disney was to do anything big, they might just sell the whole fucking company to Apple. We've heard those rumors for forever, but I don't think you're going to look at Marvel or Star Wars being sold off. I just don't think that's the case. Licensing, that's a different thing.
If they sold the whole company, the board of directors would have to get they would be like, hey, you guys would have so much money, you wouldn't even know what to do with if we sold it off to Apple. And that's when they would go, oh, okay, cool, let's make it happen. But
Apple's got a lot of fucking money. Amazon does too. Amazon's got a lot.
That's why I agree with you. Like with the with all the stuff that came out with like streaming services this past week from Warner Brothers, Peacock, just losing hundreds of millions of dollars, and Apple and Amazon could play the long game. Just be like, we have so much money to burn. It's okay. We'll see what happens with all these other companies if they all merge into one or something. It'd be interesting to see.
Eduardo Cuevas for 199. Ryan J is becoming my favorite stream of the week. Oh, Rye J.
I appreciate it.
There you go. Let's get Kim Kardashian here. Sir Hat for 5. I've been fantasizing about a Bane trilogy for years. Who would you cast as Bane Zana? I don't know. It'd have to be a massive dude.
The Rock. He would get The Rock.
I don't want him because I like his body type for the role, but I don't like him as an actor really for it. If he could pull it off, he would be really good in the role. Like he has obviously the stature, the physical appearance, and the bald head. He could make that work, but I just don't know if he's the right actor for it. Zana, I don't know. I'm not good with castings like this shit. Ana de Armas, I don't fucking know who plays Zana. I came to laugh at you for 5. Ryan, since you would make Darth Bane, which hilt would he have? Straight from Dark Horse Run or Drew's curved? I think I would do the curved. I would probably do the curved hilt. That's what I would do. I like the idea of curved hilt Darth Bane. And I like Drew. Obviously, Drew's. Oh, man, I didn't even see some of these bigger super chats that came in. So thank you guys for sending these. Stephen Wasik for 20. It's the best person for the job until Oppenheimer cast Cillian Murphy. It's separate the art from the artist until Sound of Freedom. If not for doable standards, Hollywood and its enablers would have no standards at all. Hey, thank you, Stephen. Appreciate it. Gremlin Anku for 20. Apparently, the turtles learned kung fu from watching TV, not from Splinter as well.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. Darius H for 20. They blew their load on this because now they can't use this for Iron Man if they somehow get Robert Downey Jr. back. They got all their multiverse shit. I've been pushing this for a while, Jay. So Deadpool 3 obviously has been filming. They've been very open about some of the people that are coming out. They want a lot of eyes on Deadpool 3. There's good reason to be concerned about a lot of things considering Deadpool in the MCU. Are they going to let Ryan Reynolds do all the stuff that he would have wanted to do back when people really liked the Deadpool stuff? How will Disney try to change the character? What control that? There's a lot of reason to be skeptical, including the fact it's just another Marvel project. But I do think there's a possibility that some interesting stuff could happen. One, it's a multiverse movie at a time where people are fucking sick and tired of multiverse stuff. So how funny would it be to have a movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that is literally just shitting on multiverse, that is a troll movie making fun of how stupid some of the stuff that the MCU is doing? That's something that they could do.
I think they kind of did that at the end of part 2.
He did.
He had that little time machine and he went back and killed Ryan. He killed himself.
Killed Green Lantern.
Signing the Green Lantern contract and stuff like that. Yeah. Killed the original Deadpool that was a mockery of what
in the Fox
Deadpool
universe
really is. Yeah. He goes back and kills that. So I think that would be hilarious.
Now, I don't think this is going to happen. I think it's going to be more Deadpool goes back and kills all of these other characters that are part of the Fox Marvel movies that we've seen over the last several decades. But wasn't it an awesome opportunity, a unique opportunity for Marvel, who has just shit the bed completely? No one's interested in this stuff anymore. No one cares about Phase 5 or Phase 6. No one cares about these heroes. No one cares about these characters. What an opportunity for Deadpool to kill the MCU and start over. Freaking fresh reboot. They're not going to do it, but this is the moment that you have a moment, Kevin Feige, where you should acknowledge that what you're trying to create is disastrous and you need to get back to the basics. What if they kill the MCU and coming out of Deadpool 3, you have all of a sudden you're in this freaking multiverse where there's a Fantastic Four, there's an X-Men like team already, and that is how you start the next iteration of the MCU with those teams established and ready to go. And then you have recast and you rebring in your Iron Man, your Captain America, your Thor, your Hulk, all this stuff, and you start from scratch. They'll never fucking do it, but this would be the moment to do it.
They tried to. I remember that they did something like that with Days of Future Past. Did they not? They kind of like reset the X-Men when Wolverine, was that the name of the title, when Wolverine went back in time and changed some things. So like Jean Grey was still alive when he got back, and from that movie. So it's not. Yeah, they won't do it because that means they might be like they admitted failure. But man, that'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. Deadpool saves the MCU. That would be that would be pretty awesome, actually. So
it would be. It's probably not going to happen, but that's what could. That's the thing that could happen. That could be awesome, but will never happen. Sean Cullen for 20. Today's my birthday. I turned 28, and I was wondering if you give me any birthday life advice, and what is the one movie that made you love entertainment and what it can do. Thanks, and have a great 199 day. Well, happy birthday. Happy 28 to you. In terms of life advice, I guess I have no idea about your life, so it's tough for me to give you advice. Other than you're 28 and you have your entire fucking life ahead of you. Trust me. What movie made me love entertainment? I don't know. I mean, I think Star Wars is the first genre that I like fell in love with. So probably Star Wars.
Indiana Jones, Star Wars. So somebody in the chat says, I think Jay has a stroke 24/7. No.
True.
It's not. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe you guys are constantly watching me go through mini strokes on these live streams and I don't realize it.
Tearing the Black. Well, happy birthday, Sean. Tearing the Black for 5. What's the possibility of a Disney corporate split in general? I could see some type of split, and the theme parks would stay under a joint umbrella. I just don't. I don't think that's going to happen. Right there, the entire premise of Disney and what they want to do is they want people to come to the parks based on their IPs. That's the thing, right? It's all fucking interconnected. So that when you go to these places and you see these movies that have meaning to people and they have rides based on them and stuff like that. Now, every once in a while, they try to do it the other way around. Doesn't usually work. Other than Pirates of the Caribbean, I don't think they've really had mass success of taking rides that are just rides at these Disney parks and turning them into big movies. Can you remember any, Jay? I know they tried it with Tomorrowland. That didn't really work out for them. Obviously, Haunted Mansion, they've tried and failed a couple times with that. Pirates of the Caribbean. One person commented in my chat, why would anyone make a movie based off a ride? Well, Pirates of the Caribbean is a massive franchise that was established with that very idea. But other than that, I don't know if any of them have been successful.
No, like it's just been the other way around. They built rides off of stuff that was, like Peter Pan.
Jungle Cruise. I don't think that was a financial success, though.
Oh, I've never even seen that film with The Rock.
Like, to be fair to it came out, I think, day and day on Disney Plus and in the theaters when places were still recovering from COVID, right?
Yeah, it was in that weird time period, but I had no interest to see that film. Out of all the rides at Disney World, I hate the Jungle Cruise. It's got a cult following, and people stand in line for 3 hours to get on that. So they can mimic if you get on that ride, it's a fake ride with fake animals, and the driver of the boat has this whole comedic talk, and people that have ridden that ride a million times, they say it over and over with her. It's so freaking annoying. I can't stand that ride. And people are like, we got to go on Jungle Cruise. Like, it's 2 hour wait. I don't care. It's the coolest thing. It's not. It's terrible. It's dumb. I hate it. And then they got rid of like the guy that sells the shrunken heads at the end because of diversity. So, there you go.
I waited in line twice. The first time I ever went there when I was like 10 or something, I waited in line twice for Jungle Cruise. No, I went one day and I had to go back a different day because I was using a disposable camera and I wanted to take pictures of all like the animals and shit. But I had a bar in my way and all the pictures turned out like shit. So I made my mom take me again to take more pictures.
Oh, yeah, it's annoying. That cult following for that. I guess that's probably why they thought about making a movie, but they could have done other things like Tiki Room. That could be a fun cartoon with birds talking. Who would have thought? They have that.
So $210 million of the worldwide box office for Jungle Cruise. The production budget was $200 million. So that was not a successful movie at all. Sir Hat for 5. One of the issues I have casting is they need to age across 3 movies, like from 19 to 50 something. And Zana has to have a child, teen, 20s, 30s. Well, no, not necessarily. So you could pull it off. Like you definitely would need to have one casting change in there, 100%. Between when they're, Bane is young. And then another one, I think, for the next movie would be fine. And Zana, you have to have one when she's a kid. And then I think you could get away with the same Zana at 19 being the same one when she's like 30 or whatever, in that gap there. I think you could 100% get away with that. We've seen what they have the ability to do in terms of de-aging or aging up characters, whether you're using visual effects or makeup or whatever. You could do it. You just have to plan it out and do it the right way. CR for 5. Do you guys watch Star Wars fan films? There are a ton of them. A lot of good stuff made on a budget. If so, which ones do you enjoy?
I like the bucket heads. I thought that was done really well.
That's still like an ongoing thing, right?
Yeah, they're doing they left off with a cliffhanger. So it's with the stormtroopers left on Endor.
I like the Obi-Wan fan film.
After the Emperor gets destroyed, it's like, what do we do now? We're stuck on Endor with Ewoks that eat people. So
I think the Obi-Wan fan film was that, I forget who was it, Jamie Costa that did that? I'm not sure, but that one that came out years ago. I really like that one. Obviously, you know what Star Wars Theory's been doing and stuff with his Vader stuff, but I enjoy fan films. I enjoy watching people do stuff. I like the recreation of the Thrawn novels that you're seeing. That guy spent a lot of time and energy.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Garfield's Bizarre Adventure for 5. Hey, Ryan and Jay, what do you think was the MCU's strongest film and their weakest? Also, why is that picture still crooked? It's not crooked. It's straight.
For me, if strongest film is Infinity War. But I also might say the first Iron Man, because if the first Iron Man wasn't successful, we might not have gotten that span from Iron Man to Endgame. If that movie came out and kind of bombed, it might look completely different. So I really enjoyed that whole run, Iron Man to Endgame.
Yeah,
weakest film. Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
Some of my favorite, MCU movies would be, the first Avengers, the first Iron Man. I really like Winter Soldier, the first Guardians movie, and did I say Infinity War? Yeah, this would probably be if I was going to give a top 5 of, MCU, that's probably what I'd say.
I could watch Infinity War all the time. It's really good.
Should have ended it there.
Yeah, they should have ended it and took a break. Worst film to me was Thor: Love and Thunder. It's the worst piece of trash I've ever seen in my life. I couldn't believe that they actually approved that for the big screen. That is if you know the Thor character and stuff from the comic, it's horrible. Everything about that and that whole story, where his girl gets cancer and all that stuff, that's in the comic. It's oh my gosh, the whole thing was just bad. Terrible.
Co-Lee for 5. Will your books be available to purchase in the future, Jay? I want to get it from my niece when she grew older, but that won't be for a couple years.
Achromatic Chronicles Blue will be available when we launch part 2, I think in February. So you'll be able to get the first and second one together if you missed out on the first one. So yeah.
Magnum Norris for 10. I'm sorry, but compare Spielberg to Scorsese. Scorsese never fell off. Well, thank you, Magnum. Bruce for 10. Just finished ISOM 2. This book's so action-packed, fast-paced, and expands the story incredibly. Awesome book, and the setup from ISOM 1 makes sense. Highly recommend. Hey, I'm waiting. I was one of the ones that ordered. Mine's probably either in the mail or delivered. I have to go check my shit. But yeah, I'm looking forward to ISOM 2 as well. Thank you, Bruce.
I get mine on Tuesday. I got the notification.
I came to laugh at you for 5. Would you consider a Last Stand of General Hoth film? I maybe if you did a series, if you're going to do a Darth Bane series and it was like an 8 episodes of the first Darth Bane book, then I think you could work something like that in there and really expand on the character of General Hoth. We Shenanigans for 5. At theater yesterday, saw a poster for something called Jules. Heard anything about it? Jules?
No.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But we are all caught up. Jay, what do you got going on today?
I'm picking up Krista in like an hour, and she's gonna direct me to whatever theme park she wants to go, and we're gonna go live. So her big return back to park hopping. So
There you go.
Who knows? Who knows where that might be? But yeah, we're gonna do. That's where I'll be. Wonderful.
Nice. Sounds good. So check out Park Hopping for that later today. Magnum Norris for 2. The science is great. Thank you. Joe Reese, member for 2 months. Bucketheads is great. There's a scene with Ewok being cute and immediately getting shot in the head. So
yeah.
10 times.
Yeah, it was great.
But that is going to do it for us to close out the week. Hope everybody has a good weekend. I'll see you guys on Friday Night Tights in about 3 hours and 45 minutes. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and we'll see you again next week right here at 11 a.m. Eastern. Bye, everybody.
Take care.